I have had a week already and it is only Tuesday. I sat down to do some art yesterday and everything I did failed. Well, it felt like a failure to me. You know, sometimes some days just aren't the day for that, for things that you want to do. This is great. This is a great start to this video already. Good morning and welcome to the corner, or welcome back to the corner if you're returning. It's good to see you again. My name is Leigh and this is a video podcast where I sit and talk to you about what I've been making. I am a crafter who primarily knits, but I also crochet, cross stitch, and sew a bit. It is a beautiful, sunny, springy day today. It is still a little bit chilly and it is supposed to snow this weekend, so this will not last. But I'm gonna have to take the dog for a nice long walk today in honor of this beautiful clear sky we have out there. I'm in Pittsburgh, PA, if you're new here. That's where we are. And we have some stuff. We have some stuff to talk about today. I have one finished object only. There are a couple projects I'm going to show you that are getting pretty close, and I feel like I probably should have finished them, but I'm not putting pressure on myself. This is supposed to be fun, so we're not going to try to worry about finishing things on a deadline. But let's go. Let's just start with my finished object. My finished object is actually my Hand of Thetis socks. Oh, these are my new sock design. If you have not heard yet, I sometimes, when I feel like it, design socks. And this is my new pattern that's coming out as I'm filming this on Tuesday. These will be released tomorrow. I was gonna release them yesterday and I had to delay because I need to take pictures of them, which I will be doing today, and finalizing the pattern. But these will be released tomorrow, which means by the time you're watching this, these will be available for purchase. Well, the pattern will be available for purchase. And this is what they look like. They have a reverse stockinette toe detail, a modified strong heel, which is a very easy, very quick way to knit up a heel, and it gives a very generous amount of space for your instep. And then there is a cable design on the back of the leg. And I think these look so cool on. They are completely stockinette on the front of the sock, and then they have all of this fun detail down the back of the leg, and the pattern goes all the way down the heel. So I think these are super fun. And this yarn is beautiful. This is Ex Libris Fibers, Dear Rita of Ex Libris. Hand dyed her regular sock base, which is a 75/25 merino recycled nylon, and the color is called Witch Garden Flowers. So that's my only FO, my only finished object. Finished them in the nick of time. All right, what's next? Next we have, we'll talk about this one. This is what I was knitting on a little bit this morning. In my egg bag, I don't know where this bag came from. It has a Shelly can egg pin on it, so I call it my egg bag. In here, I have my Vintage 83 crop, which is a short sleeve top from Andrea Mowry. I only have this really poor picture of it, but it's a t-shirt with a brioche striped yoke detail. And I am on the final round of ribbing before the body bind off. I'm so close. I still have not done the second sleeve, but I ended up adding about an inch to the body before starting the ribbing from the pattern, and then I think I'm extending the ribbing by about half an inch as well, so adding a total of about 1.5 inches to the body. And like I said, I'm on the final round of ribbing before I do the bind off, and I'm about halfway around. So I have half a round of knitting to do before binding off the body. I'm so close. But this is what it looks like. It's got this really squishy brioche yoke and this really fun slip stitch texture for the body. And it's still very, very cropped. Even with adding that length, her measurements were wild. She said to only knit 7 inches of the body before starting the ribbing, and then only doing 1.5 inches, so it would have been an 8.5 inch total body length, which is very short. But anyways, that's how it's going. I did try it on. It does fit. I haven't tried it on since adding the length. I tried it on before I decided to add length and decided I needed another inch. So that's where I was last time you saw it. So that's how much knitting I got done. And I'm really, really hoping that next time you see this, it will actually be finished. I would love for this to be finished. I'm so close to finishing several of my projects. This is just the first one. And the yarn, I gotta tell you about the yarn. The yarn I'm using for this, I'm changing nothing about the pattern except for the body length. Needles and everything are the same as in the pattern. But the main color I'm using is Coast to Coast Yarn Co. Button. There you go. In her 100% Superwash Merino fingering base. And I'm gonna have this whole skein left over. I still have this much to do a sleeve, so I'm gonna have a whole skein left over, which is great. I don't know what I'm gonna use it for yet, but I'll have it. And in fact, it doesn't need to live in the bag anymore since I'm not gonna be using it. And the contrast colors are the Farmer's Daughter Fibers Oh Dang, which is her Surrey silk base, and the colors Dirty Little Dandelion, Union Street State of Mind, and Salmon Berry. And I am so excited to have this finished just in time for spring to be here. I have been, in fact, in such a mood to finish things that I've been working on that I haven't even thought about casting new things on yet. I did apply to a test knit today on a whim because I don't know, I felt like it. I really liked the sweater and I was like, maybe I'll just apply just to see. But besides that, I haven't been like itching to cast anything new on. I've been in a finish kind of mood. So hopefully I can get this one done before I see you next time. And also the next 2 projects I'm gonna show you. Hopefully I can get those finished before I see you next time. I'm so close on so many things. So close. All right, next project I'm going to show you is in my Barbie bag from Junk Yarn. And this is my test knit for Hannah of Herb Garden Knitwear. And in here we have my test for the chainmail slip over, which is a cropped vest, and I'm also very close to finishing this one. I'm not exactly sure where I was last time you saw this. It looks tiny, but it does fit. I did try it on and it does fit. It's supposed to be really cropped to be worn like over things. And I think I did add a little bit of length to the body just to make it a little more wearable, more to accommodate my bust a little bit more, and it fits perfectly. But since I saw you last, I think I had joined the shoulders, I'm not sure, but I did the welt collar here, which has 2 welts, and I have started the shoulder or the armhole finishing, which I'm actually contemplating redoing. I picked up the number of stitches that she suggested in the pattern, and I think it just looks a little bit like I picked up too many. I think I need to pick up a few less than she calls for. So I think I'm going to actually undo this I-cord and try again. that is what I got done so far, and because I hit a little bit of a roadblock here, I kind of put it aside and didn't want to think about it for a few days. I do have until April 6th to finish this, so I have plenty of time. All I need to do is finish both of my armholes, and I need to do the collar still. There is a ribbed collar that will be going here, and it is double thick and then sewn on, so I have to knit it separately. So I may just go ahead and do that before I try the sleeve finishing again, and that's it. So I might go ahead and cast on my collar, rip out this I-cord, do the collar, and then finish off my sleeve hole or my armholes, and then that'll be done. It's getting a little bit of a wrinkle from being in the bag for a couple of days. Oops. But you can see it's this really squishy seed stitch texture with a really plump ribbing, and the collar will be this like squishy ribbing as well. And I love it. I love it so much. I can't wait to wear this also come springtime. And it is knit out of Hawari Bazaar Co. in her sock base. It's like a 75-25 standard merino nylon sock base in the color Watermelon Sugar, and it is so pink. I had been wanting to get a perfect pink sweater quantity for a while, and when this one popped up on Instagram, I had to get it. It was also a seconds sweater quantity, so it was a bit discounted, and it was one of the best impulse purchases I have made. It is so beautiful and pink. It is a lot of yarn. This, I think I bought 3 skeins of it, and it's a fingering weight, so you know, generous 75-25 yardage, you know, 460 yards a skein or something like that. This takes a lot of yarn because the body here is knit with the yarn held double, and there are welts which take up double the amount of yarn, if not more, and then the ribbing is almost double thick, so you use like twice the amount of yarn for the ribbing as you would normally as well. So this takes up a lot of yarn, and I had just enough in the sweater quantity I'd bought to make this vest, so it worked out perfectly. I'm so excited for this. You can see that's where I have to weave in an end. It's not a mistake, but I'm so excited about this test. I'm close to this one as well, close to finishing. The next project I'm going to show you that I'm almost finished with is my granny square blanket. All right, so I have my stuff like stuck in the middle here, but I have this much yarn left also, by the way. I had bought 3 skeins of undyed fingering weight to do the joining and border for this blanket, and I only am using 2, so I have a whole extra skein of this left over as well. So we're having leftover skeins all over the place. But this is my crochet granny square advent type, almost advent blanket, and I am so close. I only have the border left. Only the border left. I will tell you, because I have not told you, I keep forgetting in every previous episode, I will tell you what yarn I'm using to join it. This is Knit Picks Hawthorne, which is their 80-20 superwash merino nylon 2-ply yarn, undyed, just from Knit Picks. So you can buy a lot of their yarn bases undyed, and they're a little bit cheaper than buying them dyed. And I wanted this one because it was a similar base. The ply was more similar to the yarns that I used, which are almost all from Woolberry Fiber Co. for my squares. And I had crocheted these up a while ago. I started out with a Woolberry Fiber Co. advent calendar, and then added in some scraps and added in a set of road trip minis, and finally decided to get my act together and put it together into a blanket. And I have completely finished joining all of my squares, and I just need to put a border on it. It ended up being a decent size. This is the short side. It's 7 squares wide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 long. And I don't know how big I'm gonna do the border. I may do, you know, anywhere between 1/2 inch to 1 inch on each side. We'll see. But it's plenty big enough to cover me on the couch, so, which is all I really need. So this is my granny square blanket. Let's see if I can show you as much of it as possible here. A whole granny square blanket. I'm so excited. It's a little one, but it's a whole one. And you can see here is where I'm at, right at the end, where I joined together to finish my join round for everything. And yeah, I started the border yesterday a couple of different times with a couple of different borders, and I couldn't decide what I wanted to do, so I just kind of like set it aside and didn't really, you know, think about it anymore. We'll see what border I end up deciding to do. Oh, this is fingering weight held single, and I am using a 3.5mm crochet hook. And my crochet hook is from Bee Queen collection. I'm just gonna think about it there. All right, I only have 2 more projects to show you that I've been working on actively. I do have a sewing project that I've been working on, but I'm not gonna show it to you because it's in a place where it's not really very easy to look at. It's still like all in pieces and just not very interesting. But I do have 2 more knitting projects, and then that's it for whips. The next project we're going to talk about is a new cast on, and this is in my LeighKnits zombie made bag. It's kind of dirty. It's just solid black on the back, so it gets kind of linty, but that's fine. And it's super cute. I love this loopy zipper. It's the best. And in here I have a new cast on, and this is a new sock design from me. Now this one is kind of casual. It's not a very complicated sock design or anything. I am not sure yet any details on like when I'll be releasing it or anything, but I've had an idea kind of like this in my head since I first started designing, and it's a pretty mindless pattern. So I started using this sock set from Teeny Button Studio. Look how beautiful that is. It's so good. This is just a gorgeous like speckled yarn. This is her one of her Taylor Swift colorways. I can't remember what it's called. Do I have the tag? Oh, I think it's called Love Story. Silly. I think it's Love Story. And I have, what is in here? Oh, there's a progress keeper. I was looking for a progress keeper for this. I thought I'd put one in the bag, but I didn't feel it when I rummaged around in there. Oops. Anyways, this is my sock so far. It's a all over textured sock. It is not super complicated, but super satisfying to look at, I think. And it's kind of, it's a play on a 2x2 ribbed sock and a play on a 2x2 broken ribbed sock, in that it's kind of a gradient of broken ribs. You can kind of see here that it starts at the top with just a regular 2x2. It's got a nice extended cuff, and then it goes into the broken rib, but the rib gradiates out to be more and more like diffused, and by the time you get to the toe, it's just stockinette. So that is my new sock design. No name or anything yet. I'm still playing around with it, but this is what the color looks like. Look at that yarn. It is so beautiful. I would also like to knit this one up in a self-striping yarn and see how that looks, because I think this pattern would work really well for self-striping. And I don't have, like, my bond weave socks would probably be fine in self-striping, but I would love to have a design knit up for self-striping. So that's that so far. Getting close to finishing the first sock already. Very exciting. And there's only one more project, and this is my fragmentation shawl by Stephen West. I don't have a really good picture of it, but it is this modular shawl. I kind of see a little bit better here. It is a modular blanket. It's huge, giant. And I am knitting mine. It takes 7 skeins of fingering weight yarn. I'm doing mine out of 7 different colors from the Coast to Coast Yarn Co. Mush Club collection, because I'd signed up for the Mush Club the year she did it and got a skein of yarn every month and didn't know what to do with them. So I got the MCN base, which is a merino cashmere nylon blend. So very soft, very nice. And yeah, because I got the cashmere blend, I didn't know what to do with it. And when this was released, I immediately needed to cast it on. So I have finished my first wedge, and I've gotten a good bit of the way down my second wedge here. So you can kind of see the vibe we're going for here now. It's kind of like a earthy muted rainbow, and you can see how each of the stripes is offset to the next color, and it'll really be a dramatic effect once we get more wedges going here. And this is so potato chippy. It is so simple, easily memorized. Once you get going, you're going. And it just is looking so great, I think. And it is gonna be so big. This is half of it. Like, this is half of the whole shawl, and it's garter stitch, so it's gonna block out a lot. And it's just gonna be huge, and I'm so excited about it. It's gonna be so cozy. So I already told you what the yarn was, but the colors are Polypore, Understory, Gymnopolis, Foraging Gold, Laetoporus, Amethyst Deceiver, and Shiitake. And those are my 7 colors. Look at that variation in them. I love this. Pulling it out makes me want to knit on it right now. It's kind of a mess. They're in this bag that I got for Christmas from my stepmom. It is from World Market, and it's a woven cotton, heavy duty. It's got lots of pockets. But it holds all 7 of my skeins are in here, plus my shawl itself and the pattern. And inside in these pockets, I actually have like the tags for the yarn labels, and I've been stuffing all of my trash scraps in there. And then I can keep like my wallet and my phone in here too whenever I'm on the go. So I love this bag. It has been serving me super well so far. And yeah, I'm not changing anything about the pattern. Absolutely nothing is changing. That's the back. But you know when you knit things while you're watching things and you knit that show into your knitting? I have knit Perfect Match into this. I knit almost all of this while watching Perfect Match, which was a wild ride, but so much fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I knew a lot of the players from their original shows, so that made it a lot of fun. But that's neither here nor there. That was just a little fun tidbit that I thought I'd share with you. If any of you were watching Perfect Match or have watched Perfect Match, let me know what you thought. Was it not wild? All right, let's talk about some acquisitions. I have just a few because I was naughty. First, I have a mystery club from Bumblebee Acres. I saw in February, they announced that they were going to start a new club called the Kdrama Club. And if you have been here, you will know how I feel about K-dramas. And they already have all of their like schedule planned for all of the K-dramas they're going to do. And I have seen all of them. But the first month, February, is my first love. And it's been a long time since I've watched this one. I did watch it, but it has been a while. But I got the Coquette sock base, and my mystery sock set came in. And this is my first love colorway. Isn't it so Valentine-y? Very appropriate for February, I think. It's so cute. And I'm not supposed to be buying anything, but I did go ahead and get March because I know I will be very upset with myself if I miss any months of this club. So this is the club I'm getting this year, I guess. It is monthly. You do have to sign up monthly, so yeah. I just need to make sure I make at least $40 extra every month so that I can buy my Kdrama Club. And that's that. From Bumblebee Acres Farm. I said that, but I want to remind you. That's who it's from. And then I also got a little cheeky something from the Rags Fiber Affair. I did go to the Rags Fiber Affair this past Saturday. I went with my friend Natalie, and we both got matching yarn because of course we did. But I wasn't planning on buying any yarn there actually. I was only planning on buying soap, which I did also buy soap. But I got these 2 skeins of DK weight yarn from Flora Adora Fibers. This is a naturally dyed yarn dyer, or a natural dyer from Ohio. Naturally dyed in Ohio, yes. And this is the Donegal Tweed DK base. And it is a 87% wool, 13% viscose, plant-based viscose for the neps. So the neps are plant-based viscose. And then it's a nice, it's a very soft wool. I think it's non-superwash actually, which would be, which would explain. You can feel the fibers in it, certainly. And but it is still very soft and so cute. And I got these 2 colors. The colors are Lemon Curry and Blue Purple 26. It doesn't have like a name. But this is what they look like together. And I was kind of thinking that I'd make a basket weaver hat. The new hat design from Stephen West, where it's a double layered hat. Kind of like how a musselburgh is, where you knit a tube and then you flip one side in. It's like that. But one side is solid and then the outside is a basket weave texture that you can see the underside color through. So I was thinking about using these to make a basket weaver hat, but they're 2 full skeins of DK. I could do just about anything with them. So I'm not 100% certain what I'll do with them yet, but so far that was the idea when I bought them. I just love these colors together. Oh, so good. And Rags Fiber Affair, it was my first time going and it was packed. There were a lot of people there. There were tons of great vendors, tons. There were like, I think there were like 25 total vendors, which isn't a ton of vendors, but they were all good. They were all great. It was great. It was all around good variety of stuff. So I'm proud of myself for only coming home with those. All right, I shouldn't sit here too long today and ramble on about nonsense because I actually need to do work today. And the longer I wait, like the later in the day it gets, the less likely I'm actually gonna sit down and do work. I'm just a productive in the morning kind of person, which is usually why I film first thing in the mornings. All right, so announcement time. I have set up a Discord for this podcast. I wanted to have a place where you could easily like contact me directly. So instead of like just leaving comments here on YouTube, which you are still welcome to do, obviously, if you had specific questions about anything, or if I had announcements for knit-alongs or giveaways or anything like that, I wanted to have a place where we could do that in a safe and intimate like environment. So I've set up a Discord for this podcast. Right now it has just a few different threads in it, like a place where I'll make announcements, a place where we'll just like chit chat, a place where we'll talk about knitting, a place where you can ask me questions about things that I mention in the podcast, all sorts of fun stuff. So if you want to be part of a little intimate community that includes me, then I'll have a link in the description box below to the Discord server and you can join us over on Discord. I love Discord. I'm part of several different servers over there. I host a couple. That's where I do my test knitting. I will probably use it to make announcements for if I am doing like lives, or if I'm doing knit-alongs, or if I'm doing giveaways, or if I am announcing like tester calls and stuff. I'll probably be doing that over there. So if you want, their link down there, come join us. So right now I just made it and it's only me in there, but soon it will be in us, and I look forward to chatting with you. I just figured Discord would be better all around for me than making a Ravelry forum page, because it's just not really, or a Ravelry group. I'm not very active on Ravelry in the whole group environment in the forums. It's just not really my speed. I prefer a like chatty kind of thing. So Discord it is for us. And that's the big news for this episode. I'm sorry I waited till the end. I really meant to say that first thing at the beginning of this episode, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. I'll announce it next episode again, so that anyone who misses this episode will hopefully see it and can join us over there. And that's all I have for today. I've been a little bit all over the place. It's the time period during the month where I'm just like I'm not firing on all cylinders. But soon that will be different. I can feel it. Times are a-changing, and by that I mean my hormones. Thanks so much for joining me today. Thanks for coming back if you're returning. I always appreciate seeing my repeat commenters down below. I read every single comment. I try to heart every comment or reply to every comment, and you bring me a lot of joy. So thanks so much, and I will see you next time.